Rivian didn't build the 2026 Rivian R2 to be a niche flex. They built it to be the one that actually lands in your driveway. An electric SUV with real outdoor credibility, real daily usability, and a price target that finally puts Rivian in reach. And the wild part is how Rivian it still feels. Not a watered-down version, not a compromise machine. The 2026 Rivian R2 looks like it's aiming straight at the heart of the midsize SUV world, and it's doing it with the kind of thoughtful details that make you want to keep watching. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the design, the interior, the tech, the real-world driving feel you can expect, and the buying advice that matters, so you can decide if the 2026 Rivian R2 is the smart move or just the newest hype train. Let's start with the vibe. The 2026 Rivian R2 is a 5-seat SUV, sized right in the sweet spot for American life. Big enough to road trip, small enough to city park without sweating. From the outside, you instantly get that Rivian identity. The lighting signature is clean and modern, and the overall shape is upright and purposeful. More go anywhere than mall crawler without trying too hard. What I love is the restraint. The 2026 Rivian R2 doesn't scream with fake vents and aggressive body drama. It looks confident, like it knows it's capable, and it doesn't need to shout for attention. Now step closer and you'll notice the proportions. Shorter overhangs, tidy surfaces, and that planted stance that makes it look stable even when it's standing still. It's the kind of design that usually ages well.
And because this is Rivian, you can expect the practical details to matter. Clean panel lines, usable ground clearance, and a shape that looks like it was drawn by someone who actually uses an SUV. Let's talk about price and positioning. Rivian has said the 2026 Rivian R2 is targeting a starting price around $45,000, which is a big deal because it puts it right in the most competitive EV battlefield. That number is why the R2 matters. This isn't a boutique EV, this is Rivian saying we're ready to fight for volume, and they're doing it with a product that still feels premium. Timing is part of the story too. Deliveries are projected to begin in the first half of 2026, which means the 2026 Rivian R2 is arriving right as buyers are getting more selective about EV value. And yes, charging matters. The 2026 Rivian R2 is expected to use the North American charging standard, which is the direction the whole market has been moving. That's the kind of decision that can change how easy the vehicle is to live with. Okay, now let's get inside, because this is where Rivian tends to win people over. The cabin philosophy is clean, modern, and functional, with that calm, outdoorsy premium vibe instead of flashy nightclub energy. The dash is designed to feel open and airy. You sit up high enough to see clearly, and the layout feels like it's built around real driving, not just screens for the sake of screens.
What you want in a daily SUV is space that feels honest. Not, look at this futuristic concept, but this will still feel good on day 400. The 2026 Rivian R2 looks like it's aiming for that long-term comfort. Up front, expect supportive seats, a practical center area, and a driving position that makes the vehicle easy to place on the road. Rivian usually nails that you're in control feeling. And I'm glad our rules today avoid the cheesy macro close-ups, because that's not how people buy cars. People buy the whole environment, visibility, comfort, storage, and how the cabin feels at night. In back, the key is adult comfort. If the 2026 Rivian R2 is truly built for mainstream buyers, the rear seat needs real legroom and real headroom, not fine for kids. The design suggests Rivian understands that. Cargo is another part of the R2's mission. You want a load floor that's usable, a hatch opening that's wide, and space that doesn't punish you for bringing real gear. This is an adventure brand. Cargo has to be legit. Now let's talk tech,
because Rivian's software is a big part of the brand. It's not just the screen, it's the feel of the menus, the responsiveness, the little quality-of-life touches that make the vehicle feel smart every day. The best tech disappears when you're driving. It supports you without nagging. It's quick without being chaotic. If Rivian brings that same mindset to the 2026 Rivian R2, that alone is a reason to take it seriously. Driver assistance is going to be a headline area. Rivian has talked about a sensor suite that includes a large set of cameras and radar, feeding their driver assistance features. But here's how I'd frame it. Treat driver assistance like a bonus, not the reason you buy the car. The reason you buy the 2026 Rivian R2 should be the core experience, how it drives, how it fits your life, and how it holds value. Alright, let's get into the deep breakdown, what it's like on the road. Because a lot of EVs are fast, but not many feel confident in the way an SUV should. With the 2026 Rivian R2, expect instant torque that makes merging easy and passing stress-free. Even a base configuration should feel responsive in daily driving. The more important thing is calibration, smooth throttle mapping, predictable regen, brake feel that doesn't go weird when you switch between regen and friction braking. That's where great EVs separate themselves. In the city, you want light but accurate steering, good visibility, and a suspension tune that doesn't punish you on broken pavement. A Rivian should feel composed, not busy. On the highway, stability is the whole game. Wind noise, road noise, in the sense that the vehicle is settled at speed. The 2026 Rivian R2 looks like it's designed to cruise like a premium SUV, not a stripped commuter pod. Now, take it to a mountain road. This is where weight management matters. EVs are heavy, and you feel it if the chassis isn't dialed. A good SUV should rotate cleanly, resist body roll, and stay calm over mid-corner bumps.
And if Rivian does what we expect, the R2 should feel planted, more like a confident, modern crossover than a top-heavy brick. That's how you earn trust on real roads. Regen control matters in twisty sections too. The best setups let you modulate speed smoothly without the vehicle pitching forward every time you lift. If Rivian tunes that right, it'll feel natural, fast. Now, real-world usability. The 2026 Rivian R2 should be easy to drive slowly, easy to park, and easy to live with. That means good camera views, a tight turning feel, and predictable low-speed throttle response. Night driving is another make-or-break moment. Good headlights, clear mirrors, a cabin that's calm and not overly reflective, and a screen dimming setup that doesn't blind you. Premium is often just not annoying. Charging is part of the driving experience now. If you can pull up, plug in, and the system just works, that changes everything. It turns road trips from planning stress into normal travel. Now let's hit the climax. What's the impact when you actually choose this SUV as your daily? The 2026 Rivian R2 lives or dies by whether it feels like a complete vehicle, not a cool idea. If you do mixed driving, school runs, commuting, errands, weekend trips, the R2 needs to feel efficient without feeling cheap, quiet without feeling numb, quick without feeling twitchy. And it needs to feel like it can handle weather, rain, cold mornings, rough pavement. A true SUV vibe is confidence when conditions aren't perfect.
This is where Rivian's brand advantage shows up. They've always leaned into capable. If that translates into the R2 with a mainstream price, it becomes a very hard vehicle to ignore. Because the alternative in this segment is often a choice between efficient and interesting. The 2026 Rivian R2 is trying to be both, and if they pull that off, it's a winner. So, who should buy it? If you want a 5-seat EV SUV that feels premium, looks distinct, and is built around an active lifestyle without being huge, the 2026 Rivian R2 is exactly the type of product you should watch.
If you're cross-shopping the usual names, the R2's strongest pitch is balance, modern EV performance, practical SUV packaging, and a brand that people still get excited about. Now, who should wait? If your priority is absolute lowest cost or you need a 3-row family hauler, this probably isn't your exact match. And if you only buy proven, long-established models, you might want to see how the first wave of R2s performs in the real world. Also, be realistic about your charging life. If you can charge at home or at work, you'll love EV ownership. If you can't, your experience depends heavily on local infrastructure and your routine. Here's the buying advice I'd give. First, target the configuration that fits your life, not your ego. Daily comfort and usable range matter more than bragging rights. Second, budget for the lifestyle accessories you'll actually use. Cargo solutions, floor protection, maybe roof systems, because an adventure SUV is only as good as how easily it adapts to your routine. Third, don't overpay early if demand goes wild. If the market gets crazy, patience can save you real money. A vehicle like this will be popular, but hype pricing is never a smart flex. And finally, choose it if the design and the driving feel match who you are. The best cars don't just meet needs, they fit your personality. The 2026 Rivian R2 is aiming to be that do-it-all EV that feels like an upgrade every single day. So if you've been waiting for an electric SUV that feels modern, premium, and genuinely usable without jumping into full-size territory, the 2026 Rivian R2 might be the one that finally makes the decision easy.